My tip for today for you moms that are having to go through family court. I'm personally in the state of Texas. If y'all ever go through a child evaluation and it's not the first one, listen. Everything you supplied on the first evaluation, do it for the second. They don't have the whole picture. They do not gather records from the first evaluation. They don't even look at court transcripts to see what's progressed through the case. They only review what you give them. And they don't subpoena records from counselors. And depending on your evaluator, they will still look at any counseling notes that you have. With our second evaluation, I did not have that same ability to do that. I sent the records and she did not consider anything that our daughter had stated in counseling sessions, zero. And with that, made recommendations. Lawyers are super expensive, and I do wish I had a lawyer right now, but I'm not in the position to be able to afford one at the moment. But in court, they claim that I've never been agreeable to any suggestions that the father has made as far as like switching dates or being flexible with the scheduling. And I have throughout the entire course of our co-parenting until recently. I have stayed to the facts and just followed court order because he was taking advantage of the times that I was flexible. The child evaluator just saw how much I stuck to the court order, and although it's supposed to be considered maybe a positive thing, they flipped it around because he's being represented and they viewed that as me not being cooperative. Yesterday I had to let our daughter know that the visitations will no longer be supervised, which they have been for 2 years. So this is just temporary orders. See her cry the way that she did, hysterically, that's what broke my heart. I can take any disappointment from the court. My faith is not standing on man and making decisions. I know that they have the power to do so, of course. But I know that God has the final answer. He's in control of everything. He's even in control of that other person and what happens to our daughter. That is my peace. But what really broke me was seeing my daughter cry. The entire night yesterday, she was just holding my hand and not wanting to go to sleep. And she was terrified. This morning, she didn't even want to get up to go to school. And then she wrote me this letter. The mom book. Y'all might see this backwards. She says, I love you. And she wrote a little note that says, hey mom, I'm going to miss you today and next week. I hope you have a great time. I will miss you and everyone else. If I tell you the details as to why it had to go supervised, I had to convince the judge with evidence that was already in front of him as to why he has been a threat to our daughter. He has a history of violence. It's incredible to see how attorneys defend just to win. I know God is in control. I know God loves our daughter. I just wanted to give you guys that tip. Supply all of the information. You have to go through a second evaluation. Give everything so they can see the progression of how you were cooperative, how you did provide extended visitation, how that may have backfired, because that was my case. What I found out yesterday was that the court saw evidence that I have been the one that's been cordial. I even got to question the evaluator. Have I been in any way fighting in my interactions with the father? She's like, absolutely not. I've tried being so cooperative in all of my responses, sticking to the facts. I was previously more flexible, but I've learned through the progression. And even then, the court does not care about how the other parent's behavior is affecting you directly. And to even consider that the reason there hasn't been any more incidents directly affecting our daughter, it's because the visits are supervised and he's had that accountability. What I learned yesterday is that a person can have a whole record of offenses, of anger outbursts, police reports, records, everything. Courts can still see how he's continuing to be aggressive towards you, but because it hasn't directly affected your kid, they don't care. We have like a trial coming up. He can try to be as good as he can for those fans. We'll see. But what happens after that? Like, what happens if this does stay like this? But that's not for me to worry. I'm just gonna pray for God to take care of it. But that's my tip for you guys today.